Breaking news. According to reports, Terence Crawford has a new opponent, and it is unbelievable. Unbelievably bad. Chris Eubank Jr. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, Box Raw just put out some information that came through on Twitter about Terence Crawford's next fight. And it would be a somewhat of an in-house fight between, and by in-house, I mean within Bomac's house, with a fight between he and Chris Eubank Jr. Didn't see this one coming. At least it's better than the rumor that it was somebody like Campbell Hatton. However, it's not a good look. And I'm going to talk about why it's not a good look in this video. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. This don't look good to me. Can't lie, man. It doesn't look good. Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. is, I believe, his fights at 160 pounds. So Terence Crawford would be moving up 2 weight classes to fight Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank, however, is not a top 160 pounder. He is not somebody that anybody is really asking to see a fight with. And it is something that if Terence Crawford wins the fight, really, what does it mean? Where does it take him? Chris Eubank is not David Benavidez to set himself up for a Canelo Alvarez fight. Chris Eubank is not some huge money fight. Unless, of course, they're saying, okay, we're going to go, he's going to go to Saudi Arabia and the Prince of Turkey Al-Sheikh is going to pay him $50 million for a fight with Chris Eubank. Maybe, I guess. But does anybody really want to see that over the fight that he could have with Jaron Ennis? What's the difference? Why would a fight with Chris Eubank be more meaningful for his career than a fight with Jaron Ennis? Or a fight with Tim Tszyu? Or a fight with David Benavidez? It seems like this is it's almost like he's going up 2 weight classes to Cherrypick. Now, I know that may seem funny, but that's what it looks like. I don't like that fight. Is he going to fight Janabek after that? I don't like it, man. I don't like it. And I hope that it's not true. I hope that we get to see Terence Crawford in a competitive fight against somebody that is around his skill level. There is somebody, man, Prince Nassim Hamed, not Prince Nassim Hamed. There was a trainer in Philadelphia, Nassim Richardson. We talked about Terence Crawford years ago and said, look, man, this guy, the question isn't with Terence Crawford whether he carries his power up. It's whether he carries his skill up. I don't think that there's any real skill comparison between Chris Eubank and Terence Crawford. And even at 160 pounds, I give Terence Crawford a serious advantage in that fight. But if he's active, hey, man, I guess I'll take the fight. But I would much rather, again, see him fight Jaron Ennis. But at least we know if he goes to 160, you can let those belts go. No need to hold them. Let those 147-pound belts go so we can get the fights between Jaron Ennis and Stanionis and Crowley and any and everybody else. Devin Haney said once Terence Crawford moves up in weight that he'll move up to 147. So who knows? Maybe we can get a Jaron Ennis and Devin Haney fight if after Devin Haney gets done with this fight that should probably be canceled with Ryan Garcia. I'll do a whole nother video on that one. I'm sure people are going to say that I'm hating on that, but look, there's not a whole lot to say other than Ryan Garcia seems like he's not in his right mind and is not really in a position to get in that ring at that high a level and truly and truly represent himself. And at this point in time, there's just not enough faith in that fight for a lot of people right now to say that they want to see it. It's like they're waiting for a train wreck or something. But as far as it goes with 147, if Terence Crawford leaves that weight class, it opens up that entire weight class, which is really a big money weight class. And Teofimo Lopez can move up there. Devin Haney can move up there. You can have, who knows if Subriel Matias is big enough to actually be able to move up and fight at that weight class. And we can see some real fights go on again, and hopefully in a round robin type of situation at 147. But Chris Eubank he had a good fight in his last fight against Liam Smith. But before that, he looked bad against Liam Smith. He's just a journeyman, man. That's what Chris Eubank is, a journeyman with a name. I guess it's better than Conor Benn, but a Euro bum tour for Terence Crawford at this point in time in his life, is that what we got to look forward to? I know that there's going to be a lot of Terence Crawford fans that are going to be disappointed in that particular decision when you have somebody like Jaron Ennis that's right there in a fight that people really, really want to see. Or at least I want to see. And I think people that are really hardcore boxing fans and know what that kid can bring to the table want to see. I'm going to have to say, man, if you go up to 168, that's shady. I would, even Tim Tszyu at 154 pounds is a much better fight. But then again, somebody can say to me, Fanon, is Terence Crawford able to get those fights? He may not be able to get those fights. He may not be able to get the Tim Tszyu fight. He may not be able to get that Canelo fight. He may not be able to. I think he can get the Jaron Ennis fight, but he doesn't want the Jaron Ennis fight. At the end of the day, though, I'm gonna wind. If they put this thing on pay-per-view over there on DAZN, I'll wind up paying for the pay-per-view over there on DAZN. I just don't know where it's gonna take us. I'm sure it'll be an interesting fight. People are gonna be able to promote it based off the size difference between the two of them. But honestly, man, I don't see that as being any different than, and actually probably less of a fair matchup than when Gervonta Davis, who's really kind of a 130, 135 pounder, moved up and fought Mario Barrios. Barrios is a big guy, a bigger guy, but the skill gap between the two of those guys, it wound up being a wash for Gervonta Davis. I see the same thing happening for Terence Crawford and Chris Eubank. It's just not a fight. It's just not a fight that I like, but better than nothing at the same time. Better than nothing. Because clearly he's not going to be willing to fight Jaron Ennis. And I've done multiple videos about what his limitations are with the PBC. That the PBC is really not trying to make the fight between him and Errol Spence. I can understand why people would say, really what choice do you have to make? If they go over there to the UK to fight Chris Eubank, I'm sure they'll sell out a stadium with Chris Eubank over there. If they go to Saudi Arabia, maybe Saudi Arabia will be willing to pay a lot of money for that fight to see Chris Eubank fight and Terence Crawford fight there. But I just don't think it does a lot for fans. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.